It's between bets. It's our Week 10 NFL betting cards. We're going to be going through our favorite ATS money line. Of course, some over-under total picks and player props, all for you, rounded out by our touchdown contest. And guys, let's first look back at how Week 9 treated us. Very frustrating on my end because 4 for 5 on player props, 1 for 2 on the touchdowns as well. Jamar Chase all of a sudden had some butterfingers in the end zone. Couldn't come down with that for me. That was a bummer. But at the same time, I missed the parlay of the week. And I also missed my biggest bet of the week, the one I had the most closing line value on. I took Rashee Rice over 6.5 receptions, plus 118 right here live with you last week on the show. And then by the time we turned around and got to Sunday, that baby was all the way down to minus 160. So thought that one would come through. That was the only one that didn't happen and come through. So, up a couple units on the week, but it could have been a monster week for me. Steve, how did it go for you in the betting streets?
Oh, it was brutal out here on the streets. This was a bad offensive week for the NFL. It was just ugly. It was a bunch of field goals. And when it comes to over-unders, and I love to bet the overs, that was not a fun situation to be in. The only game that I really like, I only bet a couple this week, thankfully. The Patriots got it done for me. Patriots-Falcons did. But that Broncos game, nope. That Packers game, nope. Like, it was a rough week, dude. It was a rough week.
Yeah, absolutely. And you might get, some more of it this week because we have the Bengals on bye. We also have teams like the Dallas Cowboys on bye that can score points.
They didn't get it done either.
Well, yeah, usually they do. Usually they can score points. Usually they allow a lot of points. They did one of the two on Monday night, not the former of that. Jake Parry, how was it for you out there on the betting card front?
Yeah, pretty decent. I also missed on a Jamar Chase touchdown, so that one did sting over here as well. I did hit on the Bears money line. That was fun. Picked the Packers money line as well, just because it's kind of my rule. If I bet on my favorite team, I bet on my least favorite team to also win because it feels like the juju balances out. Well, it didn't. I mean, it did. They lost, but the Packers lost, but I lost my money too, so I don't really know how that one works. And honestly, I think my biggest hit of the week wasn't even a bet that I made. I helped my brother put together a little same game parlay. So we went Jonathan Taylor, I think it was over 110 total yards, Michael Pittman touchdown, and I want to say it was something dumb like Daniel Jones over rushing, I think, something like, or longest completion, one of the two. But we hit for like I think final odds on it was like plus 670 or something.
Hey, I'll certainly take that. I was very close to a 5-1 gainer. I'm usually one not to even bet something that long, but the chips were falling, and excited to see what we can dial up here this week, gentlemen. And I want to start us out this week, and I'm going to an ATS play here, starting with the Carolina Panthers, minus 4.5, minus 115 at ESPN, bet against the Saints. And look, for me, like, I haven't been playing a lot of ATS and sides here just because I really wanted to figure out who these teams are. And I think I have a pretty good grasp of who these teams are, seeing the field pretty well with the Panthers right now. I grabbed this early. This is now moved from that 4.5 number up to 5 and even 5.5 at some books. And the Panthers right now, they're just running down people's throats right now, guys, with Rico Dowdle, and it is working very well. They're sitting above 500 right now, 6-3 ATS as well. They also just beat the Packers in Lambeau Field, as we mentioned. And the Saints are a league worst 2-6 ATS. If you've been fading the Saints so far this season, it's been working for you in survivor pools. It's been working for you most of the time, ATS as well. And they are unable to stop the run right now. They have been getting gashed every which way about it. Tyler Shuck at quarterback. I think this maybe leads to some easy points for the Panthers, especially with how good they've been in Charlotte right now. 3-1 ATS this season. Their only not cover at home has been against the Bills. So I'm all in with the Carolina Panthers. It says gross to say that, but it feels right kind of in the moment as well. And Jake, you're sticking with the Cats, but going with a different predator.
Yeah, this one was simply seeing the line. Had to be a mistake placement or something, getting what I got, getting the Lions plus 1.5 versus the Commanders with the fact that Jaden Daniels dislocated his elbow and won't be playing quarterback for them for probably the rest of the season, if I had to guess. This line has already moved from its plus 1.5 open to -8 is kind of the best odds you can get for the Lions. So a 9.5 point swing in my favor. just really no reason to not be all over this when you see that kind of just, why is this line what it is? You can't pass up on it.
Yeah, you might be getting banned from DraftKings because I've seen these like faulty lines out there before in NASCAR, and I've bet them. And either A, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, this was a mistake put out by somebody," and they don't honor the line, or two, you end up with a ban notice. I've also seen that. So good luck to you either way on that one. Because they put out these lines on accident and people hammer down on it, and sometimes they're like, "Hey, you weren't supposed to do that." So
I didn't go crazy on it.
There must be a way to appeal that. That's not even fair. I feel like you could sue them into oblivion.
Rules and conditions.
These are possible and current partners with us, so don't want to talk negatively about them, but it is just part of the process out there. I have seen it. So Detroit, I think, like, if you can get them anything, like, to me, under a touchdown favorite, that's where I like them. Like, I'll lay 6.5 points with them. I won't lay the 7 or the 8 or the 9.5 I'm seeing now, but to get them the other way was a blessing there from the gambling god. So Jake, thank you for putting us on that. And then also the money line plays, you have the New England Patriots here on a money line against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down there in the land of the Scientologists.
Yeah, it just it's one of those things where I don't think either of these teams are as good as their records indicate. If you look at Tampa, they win a bunch of one-score games. They keep themselves close. Their defense hasn't really succeeded. The Patriots are beating up on bad teams as well. Not really, superstars by any means. But, I mean, Drake May is looking like an absolute superstar. That dude is literally playing himself in MVP contention right now. I think it's 21 total touchdowns between passing and rushing currently.
Wow.
Like, very, very solid pace from the kid out there. You've got Tampa still dealing with injuries. You're going to likely have no Chris Godwin, no Mike Evans, probably no Bucky Irving. It feels like a trap game. It feels like one of those where, like, even though Tampa's favorite, it feels like a trap, and it feels like I just should pick the Patriots here. Even though, like I said, I don't think either of these teams are as good as their records indicate.
It'd be a big statement from the Patriots, right? If they can go down there to Tampa Bay. And this is one of those, games on the schedule, Jake, you kind of mentioned it. The Patriots haven't played the toughest teams, right? They've played the Bills. They beat the Bills. They've had some really nice wins that they've pulled out, but it hasn't always been against the best competition. They're playing a last place schedule. It's just what happens, right?
Yep.
So this will be a big one. I think this would certainly change the tides in their favor, especially, maybe make Drake May that favorite that Steve has that 5-1 ticket on him that he placed last week, and really make that come through. So like those plays from you. Steve, let's go to the total picks with you. And man, you were on such a heater pretty much all season long, taking overs. And now we're at a point where, as I mentioned at the top here, two of the best teams for taking overs, the Bengals, the Cowboys, they're on bye. It feels like things are tightening up, getting a little gross out there, but you're still expecting some points in at least two specific places.
Yeah, and I'm going to start in maybe the grossest game just on paper. It's the Jets and the Browns. Listen. No one's there to stop the Browns from scoring right now. Not a soul is there to stop that from scoring. The Browns probably put up 28 points in this game just on their own. So all I'm asking out of the Jets is 10, right? Like, that's all I need them to do, and they will score more than that. I think this is a situation where Justin Fields may have found his confidence, right? Whether they start Taylor or not, I don't think they're going to, but Fields going into the bye has a massive game, gets them their first win.
Good point.
They're feeling good.
Fair.
Get the bye week, get a little bit more up to speed, implement more plays, get themselves going. They trade away a bunch of defensive players. They're like, go out there, play free, play loose. It doesn't matter. We're not winning anything anyway, right? This is a game that has a real chance to hit this over by halftime. This is going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess. This ground game for the Browns, there's no one to stop them now. They're going to run right through where Quinnen Williams used to be.
Yeah.
The secondary, Dylan Gabriel is going to look way better than he has any right looking, unless Azaria Thomas, my Florida State guy, go Noles, steps up and becomes the guy that I think he is.
I'm
actually really excited for him to get a chance to be on the field more.
Okay, love that. And also, you are in that Panthers game that I am, but instead of laying the points with the Cats, you are gonna go and just, hey, let's see a little points from Tyler Shuck. Let's get a little Rico Dowdle in the end zone type of action here.
Yeah, again, 39.5. Like anything under 40 in the NFL, I'm hammering the over. I don't care unless it's one of those ridiculous like Bills Patriots games with the 70-mile-an-hour wind where you couldn't throw the ball more than 2 yards because it would blow away. You got to take the points here, especially if you think that -4.5 is going to be the line. That's a pretty big spread for a game that you're projecting both teams not to score a combined 20 points. Are you expecting a shutout from the Panthers? Like, this feels reactive to what they did to the Packers. I think the Packers played really bad rather than the Panthers played really well, frankly. I don't think this defense is all that good, and I don't think the Saints offense is all that terrible. Like, they'll be fine. They're not good, but they're not like get shut out bad, like not by the Panthers. So I'm not going to sit here and like be like, well, Tyler Shuck is awful and Bryce Young is awful. It's like, yeah, but so are the defenses they're playing against. They're not good. So I'll trust the play callers. They have 2 innovative play callers on as head coaches. I'll trust the offense.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I'm really interested to see who can step up there for the Saints. Is it Devin Neal in the backfield? They need some juice out of the running backs. Can Kamara get back in the fold? He wasn't moved at the deadline. Who's going to step up behind Chris Olave? Is it Taysom Hill? Can we get a little Taysom Hill action?
Is it Juwan Johnson?
Is it Juwan Johnson?
I think it's Juwan Johnson.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, definitely some value to potentially be had
Tyler
there.
Shuck's former teammate, Juwan Johnson.
That's still such a crazy fact. I feel like Juwan Johnson's been in the league for 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that was before he was at Penn State, wasn't it? Oh my god,
he was on Oregon.
Wow. See, that's how long Tyler Shuck has been in college football, folks.
Tyler Shuck's older than you.
No, I think I'm older than Tyler Shuck, but not by a lot. Not by a lot.
26?
Yeah, I'm 27.
Oh, all right. Well, you're the same age.
Yeah. Hey.
Brandon Whedon.
Yeah, one of us is in the NFL, and one of us is
talking about the NFL,
hosting a fantasy football podcast. So, let's go to player props here. Where Jake, you can start us out with your first player prop of the night. You are taking us over to the great country of Germany. Have you been to Germany yet? And what is the play out there for a Guten Morgen?
Yep. Cannot say that I have been there. It is on the bucket list for me.
I've been there in the Epcot Pavilion.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. If that counts, I've been there.
Did you German beers? What are we, big pretzels?
I did. I had a beer and I went to the caramel shop.
I was like 12. I definitely did not have a beer there.
I had a beer. One of the 4 beers I have a year.
Okay. All right.
There you go. But I'm going with Drake London over 70.5 receiving yards. You can get that at -110 via Fanatics Sportsbook. I mean, it's very clear that Drake London has stepped into his own in this offense. Looking over the last 4 games, he's beat this number 3 times. The one game he didn't beat it in was against the 49ers. That was just a terrible showing by the team. But this is a guy averaging 13 targets a game over the last 4 games. Like, the volume is strictly there. When he beats this number 2, he absolutely smashes it. You know, in those last 4 games, 110 yards, 118 yards, 158 yards. Like, this guy is the focal point of this offense. It's very clear they're letting Michael Penix kind of take his licks, learn how to play cornerback in the NFL, and just let him throw the ball a ton. And London has really, you know, I don't know if he wasn't 100% healthy, but he just looks more confident on the field than he did to start the season off. And I know he is coming off of, you know, a little bit of an injury, but I mean, you come back from a little bit of an injury and you go, you know, 14 targets, 9 receptions for basically 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. You got to be feeling pretty nicey.
Yeah, I like Drake London a lot this week. Sauce Gardner being out there, I mean, that definitely changes things a little bit, but who knows if he will see the full allotment of snaps from the first jump here. And at the same time, like Drake London, 5.5 receptions sitting out there too, which I don't hate either. So could be a big Drake London game. We know he's going to get the targets. It's just, can he come down and make them into production? We shall see. Another guy who I think is going to get the targets this week for me in the player props market is Trey Tucker. I'm going over on the receptions line. No Jacoby Myers on Thursday Night Football. So there will certainly be some discrepancy, I think, in the markets on what you're getting offered here. Right now, I'm seeing the line at Hard Rock Bet at 3.5. I'm not available in that state to get that, so I can't get down on it now, or I would absolutely smash 3.5. It was 5.5 the last time we saw Jacoby Myers out, so I probably wouldn't take 5.5, but if I can get a 4.5, even if it's an alt that I'm paying a little juice on, I would definitely go that way as well. Trey Tucker has hit this 3.5 line in 3 out of his last 4 games, including catching 5 of 6 targets with Myers out in week 7. Also, at the same time, in the last 8 weeks, a wide receiver has crossed this mark against Denver with a team's wide receiver 1 averaging, just 8.9 targets, 4.8 receptions per game. So I really like what he could do here. Again, no Patrick Surtain out there for Denver on Thursday night. Instead, it'll be rookie out of Texas, Jahdae Barron, first-round pick, but still a young pup. I'm also going to get down and dirty here with another one. We did it last week. We're going back to the well here with riding some gross tight ends. Colson Loveland did not, you guys know I was on him last week, but I did not expect quite that game. So I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz this week over on the receptions line. Been super consistent so far this season. He's hit his receiving yards prop in 6 of 8 games. The projected line of 3.5 in 5 out of 8 games. This includes an average of 5.3 receptions since week 3. Like, it's really Nico Collins and then it's Dalton Schultz there. They haven't found a consistency with Christian Kirk being in and out of the lineup. The rookies have not stepped up like we had hoped there as well. 1 week they do, 1 week they don't. I don't trust Xavier Hutchinson as far as I can throw him, which ain't very far, folks. So 8 targets last week with Davis Mills at quarterback. He might be under center once again without CJ Stroud. Also, great matchup for Dalton Schultz as well. Over the last month, Jacksonville has allowed the 4th most receptions, 3rd most receiving yards to opposing tight ends. Right now, I think Schultz should go over this game as he's done it, this prop in this game as he's done it 6 out of 8 times. So I like him to do it once again here and potentially do exactly what he did in week 3 when he faced the same team, 5 for 39. Also, give me a little little Justin Herbert on the passing yards. Steelers pass defense, absolute funnel lately. Their safeties are all banged up. They brought Kyle Duggar in right from you, Steve, and the Patriots plugged him right in and still has not helped him.
Yeah, because he's not good.
Yeah, well, that's I think why we got him for what we did. And right now, the Steelers, the most allowed passing yards per game over the past months, almost 317 yards per game. That includes 342 to Danny Dimes last week, 360 to Jordan Love the week before, 342 to Joe Flacco as well. So secondary right now, I think that it's just going to be too much, dude. Like, you can't stop Gadsden, you can't stop QJ, you can't stop Keenan Allen or Ladd. They're bad against slot wide receivers. They're bad against X's. They're bad against tight ends. The Chargers right now, they had just had 77 yards to running backs last week on the ground against Tennessee. A very plus matchup, by the way, in Tennessee. So I think the Lurs are going to stuff the run once again. They did it last week against Jonathan Taylor, 45 yards, 14 carries. So I think Justin Herbert's going to air it out on Sunday Night Football. Also, I was on the Panthers, so I'm also going to go on Rico Dowdle this week as well, over on the rushing yards or attempts. The Panthers running down people's throats. It's working. 3rd most rush attempts per game this season as a whole are Carolina. Rico, 7th in carries, 3rd in rushing yards. Rico Dowdle, guess what his pace is right now, Steve? If you had to guess, what is Rico Dowdle's pace for rushing yards?
1,500.
Close, 1,400 yards right now. Rico Dowdle, like, that's where we're at, folks. Still 3rd in yards per touch and averaging 5.6 yards per carry, despite all this volume. Like, Carolina's rushing protection is real. I think right now he's going to continue to cross this attempts line and the yards mark that he has in 4 of his last 5 games. He now gets the Saints. They've allowed the most rushing attempts to opposing running backs, 30.5, the 4th most rushing yards as well, 130 per game over the past month. Tyler Shuck, I think he's going to stall out drives. I think Rico's going to have a lot of burn on the wick here. So honestly, like, I might even take like a stab at Chuba's rushing yards just because we've seen backup running backs, i.e. Blake Corum last week that I was on for the rushing attempts, also feast against the Saints. So there we go there for me. It's Rico, Dowdle, Justin Herbert. It's Dalton Schultz. It's Trey Tucker, all on the overs. Jake on that Drake London over. And guys, let's take a look at the touchdown call leaderboard presented by our friends over there at Dynasty Decks. Win a sweet plaque. Remember the season that was if you won this. And look, it looks like maybe Trav might be the guy. Him and Rob tied at the top of the leaderboard. They've been there almost all dang season long. Someone's got to throw them off. Also coming in here at second is a tie between James, Steven, myself. Steve, who hit for you last week in touchdown call?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Your arch nemesis. Your arch nemesis came through for you. I got 2 from Colston Loveland. Would have never thought that. I got 0 from Jamar Chase. That was sick. Eric and Jake Parry here tied at 10 apiece. Jake the Snake, who was the man of the hour for you last week?
That was my friend Michael Pittman Jr. with that crazy touchdown catch.
Yeah, and you were also on Chase as well, so you were probably bummed out that he couldn't come down with either one of those. He got just stopped short, and then another one right through his hand, so bummer to see that. Ben Siebert bringing up the rear here with Trash at 8 and 9 apiece. Let's get to the TD calls, and Steven, let's send it your way first. Who do you have this week, my friend?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I got two fun ones here. I got George Kittle. I'm a big respect guy to George Kittle. I think it's time that he gets into the end zone here. It's been a minute. This is a team that is looking for a number one, and I think it's so obvious that it's George Kittle. Juwan Jennings is a good player. George Kittle is a great player.
Yes.
And it's time for George Kittle to get into the end zone. But the one that I'm more sure about, I'm actually less sure about Kittle than I am about this next guy. Give me Romeo Doubs. The loss of Tucker Kraft is a massive boon for Romeo Doubs. I think this is going to be the guy that benefits the most. We saw him get double-digit targets in the last game. After Tucker Kraft went down, his usage went up. He's not a big guy, but he gets a lot of end zone targets. A lot of end zone reads go to Romeo Doubs already. Removing Tucker Kraft means more are going to go his way. I expect Jordan Love to really funnel a lot of targets to Romeo Doubs going forward.
Okay. I love those picks, man, honestly. And Romeo Doubs always a fun player to watch because you can see him real well with the big Guardian helmet out there.
Yeah, I really appreciate that I can always see where he is on the field.
Yes.
When Doubs gets the ball.
Yeah. That's why I love Travis Hunter, too, because he'd always wear like pink or orange or something crazy shoes, so you could really identify him quickly. And now Doubs might be that guy out there for us. So appreciate that. And Jake Parry, where are you going here in week number 10 for the touchdown call contest? You got to get on the plus side of the board. You were there the first couple of weeks and you slowly fell down.
I didn't miss, but I was 8 for 8 to start the year, and it's been a bit of a struggle fest since. And it's probably because I make picks like the ones I'm making today. I had my weeks mixed up, by the way. Rasheed Rice scored my touchdown this past week.
Okay.
I was thinking of 2 weeks ago for Pittman, but I'm going with Michael Pittman, getting him at plus 165 at bet 365. Just a guy that, again, I think he's a superstar. I think he's an underrated superstar. He's an elite
superstar.
He is an elite target earner, earns targets with better than your favorite wide receiver does for most of his career. And he's just super underappreciated in what he can offer to an offense. When I say he's a superstar, he's the superstar of the all underrated team. That's okay. Let me clarify this here. He is the most underrated wide receiver in football. So I got to go with my guy, Michael Pittman, using up my second use. But, when you're riding the heater's hot. We're sticking with it. I can see my boy Pittman getting in the end zone. And then I'm sticking with that exact same game. I'm going with Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes himself falling into the end zone. You can get that at plus 350 via bet 365. Again, I think it's just a situation where, if for whatever reason the run game isn't working with Jonathan Taylor at the goal line, or they're, say JT just broke a big run and they've got, somebody else in at running back, they need, that little bit of a spell. Jones has shown he'll pick up that dirty 1 yard. He also has that scrambling ability that we've seen throughout his career. It's probably an underappreciated part of his game. I think it's part of what's made him so good with the Colts is his ability to kind of play in his own space and, create his own opportunities. So I could certainly see him falling in the end zone this week as well. Maybe a couple times, and help me catch up on the leaderboard a little bit. Dan.
Yeah, plus 350, man. That would certainly pad the wallet as well. So I like that call there. I've had really good success this week this season, boys, with two positions. It's been tight ends and running backs. I didn't find a lot out there in the tight end streets this week, so I'm going to go to the running back and two guys that I've been on certainly a few times this season. First, James Cook, second use of the year. If they go to the Super Bowl, I might be hurting by the time we get there. But I'm going with James Cook, minus 160. It's something like I always like to put one that I'm also going to have on my personal betting card as well. James Cook is one of those, minus 160. I feel like it's a really good number that might be better when we see even more books released. So I'm going to jump on that as quickly as I can. Back to the well here with Cook. I think he's going to find pay dirt once again. He's done it in 5 of 8 games this season, 62.5% clip, 14 of 19 games last season, 73.7% clip. So I think there's a little bit of positive touchdown regression coming his way. He scored earlier this year against the Dolphins, just as a running back has in 4 of the 5 last games against the Fins. So James Cook to find pay dirt here once again. And give me a little Rico Dowdle touchdown as well. I talked about him earlier, so I don't need to go over a ton. All you got to know is the Saints have allowed a rushing touchdown in 3 straight weeks, 4 total, and a running back has found the end zone in 8 of 9 games this season. Why not Rico Dowdle? Why not this week, boys? Great stuff here tonight on the program. Thank you guys so much for joining us.